Hello, this is Aaron from Bravo Wild Black. This episode, we have Kiara and Sophia from Two Black Bravo Gals. We had an absolute blast. This was actually their first time doing a podcast, and I think they did absolutely amazing. And we hope you guys enjoy.
We have podcast newbies, and these girls I have been wanting to have on for a while, ever since that we found their profile, really. This is Two Black Bravo Girls, and your name is Kiara, right? And your name is Sophia, and we are here today to get into some things. Yes. First of all, how are you guys?
We're good. I'm good. Just hanging in there with everything, but yeah.
It's New Year's Eve, so trying to leave away 2020.
Exactly. Just leave it in the dust.
2021.
Exactly. So question, how did you guys get started?
Kiara and I actually went to college together, and one of our bonding activities in college was like watching Real Housewives on end, like before we went out. And we just kind of wanted a place to just, you know, have our unfiltered opinion and just kind of post everything that we wanted. So we like a year ago.
We're like, hey, you want to do it? And she was like, yes, let's go for it. So created the account, and we love Bravo Historian and Oh No Bravo, and that's kind of how we were like, we should probably
got introduced to the community.
Yeah, we really love being a part of the community too. So it's nice that we get a dedicated spot that we can just chit chat about Bravo stuff, because we used to do it on our personal accounts, and obviously, like our followers.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
They just don't understand certain things. I do get it. You have to be in a community to talk about, you know, Vanderpump Rules or what happens with Nene and, you know, that whole thing. So what would you say, what franchise would you say introduced you guys to
Bravo in general?
Yeah, so I've honestly been watching Bravo like since I was like 12.
Yeah.
So I like moved actually to the United States from the UK like when I was 11 or 12.
Whoa.
I got really into the Real Housewives for some reason. So that was like with OC, and then Atlanta, like vintage Atlanta is just
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that first season.
Yeah.
the magic between Nene and Sheree, I'd say.
And I miss Kim.
Nene and Kim, like they're friends one day, they hate each other the next day, and it's like, why am I so entertained by this?
But you know, the good thing is we have Tardy for the Party now, guys. So I don't know.
Is that the good thing?
Or do you guys actually watch that?
I watched an episode, and I was like,
I watched the beginning, and then when this kept coming, it's like, okay, what's the plot? Like, where are we going with this? Like, it's the same thing over and over again. Like Brielle not wanting to have a job and him just trying to have a baby.
That's literally how it is. It's like most people watch the first few seasons. It was actually pretty good. And then like we're on like season 7 or something. And it's just like, okay, enough. You know, a lot of people, I like the chef. And, you know, we did a survey to see like what people like about it. They like the chef and they like Croy. And I guess it's okay when you want something that's not like Housewives drama or anything like Bravo at all. But, you know, there could be some other content on.
Yeah, it does kind of get tired of seeing, I do kind of get tired of seeing Kim go to the casino every season with Croy. It's like, and I think I just like her interaction too between the rest of the housewives, you know, because without them, I'm not going to say I don't appreciate Kim, but I just don't.
I like to see her in the group. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I'm still here for a Kim comeback. You know, maybe not in the capacity of full time, but even part time, I'd be here for Kim coming back.
And holding a cigarette.
And her red cup.
Exactly. Her red cup. That red Solo cup is iconic, honestly. So tell us, what are your favorite like shows currently on Bravo?
Loving Real Housewives of Potomac, have to say. Takes right now. I think so. New York was doing good stuff, and I think those two are the ones that are killing it right now, honestly, in the Bravo space. But obviously Potomac is the best because they're like delivering on all fronts. Drama, like relationships shifting, and obviously Robin getting engaged was like the best thing ever to see at the end. So.
Yeah. And just that party in general
Her
was
dance.
like pure chaos.
Chaotic. What the energy though that I needed to have.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Sophia?
So this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but I kind of am into Below Deck.
You know what? That's actually not that unpopular because people post so much about Below Deck. We don't watch it. We're just intimidated because there's just so many episodes and so much going on. But I hear that it's really freaking good. And like I heard that they maybe got like a show where they like review Below Deck or something.
Yeah, I think it's starting.
Yeah. Can you tell me about that? What do you know about it?
Yeah, so I don't know too much about that show. I did see like the commercials for it and I was like, oh no. But Below Deck, honestly, just start anywhere. It's just like easy watching.
Yeah.
Put it on in the background, clean, like.
I always feel like I'm working on the actual
like on the yacht.
Yeah, with them.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So how did you guys, we just wrapped up the Housewives of Potomac. How did you guys feel about the reunion? Parts 1 through 3.
And that was wild. I have to say, Monique and her binder, I was very excited for it, and I kind of was wishing that she flipped some more pages and kind of dragged everyone else in the binder. Like she really only talked about Giselle, but I was hoping that she would like her final moments as a housewife, she would just read everyone and just leave nothing on the table and be like, okay, fuck it, I'm out.
Exactly. Because I feel like well, what happened was, as you guys know, Monique quit. We're literally sobbing about that because, she was our favorite on Potomac. Her and Ashley Darby are our personal favorites. She's a fan favorite. And, the criticism that she received, I don't care what anyone says, it was just not fair. They acted as if she was the first person in the world to fight. And it's like, this is Real Housewives, fights happen, move the fuck on. And the whole, it became not fun anymore where people was like Team Candace or Team Monique. And it's like, even now that she quit, people are still like dissecting the entire fight or whatever. But anyways, what happened was Monique announced that she was asked back to the show, and she was going to actually go back to the show, but she saw the 3rd episode of the reunion, and that's when she decided, like, I don't fucking need this shit because of the editing, because of, some people feel like Andy in general was like really super biased and he showed his bias, and also just how she was freaking portrayed. So she was not fired at all. They would not fire her, but she chose to go, and the problem is that she doesn't need the money. So that's why she didn't have to stay. What do you guys think about Monique leaving?
Yeah, I'm like really sad. But after watching the 3rd episode, like I'm not shocked. Like I was watching it with my mom and she's like, she's not coming back. Because yeah, like you said, she doesn't need the money. It does seem like it's causing her a lot of issues with like her family and her husband, and I feel like the women kind of like don't even want to like film with her anymore. So, what's the point?
It's true. It's true. I see the division between, Monique and the rest of the ladies. It's like, I'd say the only housewives who really give her a chance are Ashley and Karen.
But that's how I feel like it could have went on, because she has Ashley and Karen. And at the end of the day, what Bravo can do is that this is not the first time a cast has been divided. They can basically say beforehand, which I believe that they did before Monique decided to quit because she was already set to come back. They were basically like, yo, if you want to be on the show, you're going to have to film. Like, this is work. You don't get to pick and choose who you work with. So it's going to be the same way, you know, on here. So I feel that there was definitely a way to bring Monique back. But as you said, like, just watching the reunion, you understand why she chose not to come back. What about you, Kiara?
Yeah, I was really sad about her going. Obviously, like, loved her. And just like at the third reunion, I just felt like Giselle was being ridiculous, and like there would just be absolutely no way for Monique to be able to film with Giselle. Like, Giselle would have tried to do some sort of like
sneaky shit.
Where like they just like don't film with Monique at all. And it was just like such a frustrating thing to watch, because you look back at all the other fights that have happened in the franchise, like Portia pulling Kenya's hair, and like Tom punching Jax, and Stassi slapping Kristen. It's like, come on, guys, like, it's a slap. Like, yes, Monique like went too far, but Candace 100% provoked it, and like I will die on that hill. But Candace provoked it, and it's just annoying to me that like she's not having any sort of accountability for what she's done. And it's like, come on, you did this with Ashley too. Like, you can't be surprised that like you're getting hit when you literally said, drag me. Like, okay, I will. Stop asking.
You guys are really courageous, I must say, though, because I haven't actually seen someone, 100%
straight up like be like, listen, Candace kind of like,
and it is appreciated.
And it honestly, like, okay, everyone is like, oh, Candace was at work. She was just doing her job by, arguing. And I'm like, well, this is the thing. Everyone who got dragged, slapped, punched, they were all at work too. So Candace is no different than anyone else. Like, freaking Frank was at work when Jax tried to fight him. Teresa is flipping fucking tables. So everyone was at work. So that doesn't protect her from what's going on. And honestly, even if you're at work, you can definitely fight a coworker. Like, that's not even.
Don't say I.
Not me personally. I'm just saying, like, I've known situations where people are at work and it gets intense between their coworkers. So the excuse of Candace was just at work, quote unquote, doing her job. You can't do your job if you're going to be in people's faces. You're going to be nasty about it. You're going to spit these vicious words and think that no one is going to retaliate. Yeah. I'm not of the talk shit, get hit category, but I'm saying that if you act a certain way, you don't know how people are going to react. And you're taking a gamble on it. And just because you weren't raised that way doesn't mean that other people were raised the same way. So it just doesn't make any sense. And it's like she wants to shout out to the hood and like be down with the hood on one episode, but then call people a hood rat gutter bitch the next episode. So it's a lot of hypocrisy, especially between people who are debating it, that is just like, you're not being fair. You're like, it's very clear that you are just team Candace, which is fine, but just say it. You can't say that you're team no one or team they're both wrong when you're saying that Monique like is just the worst person on earth for snapping. People snap all the time.
Like team Candace is always like, but does it call, what should she have gotten dragged? No one's
trying to justify that.
That's always the point. And I'm just like, no one's saying that Monique should have dragged Candace, but Candace should have known if she was running her mouth that there is a chance that, hey, I might get popped.
Yeah. If you're going to be that bold, then be that bold. And then let's talk about the whole, being mad at Ashley for writing her statement. They keep saying that Ashley wasn't there for the fight. Yeah, guess what? She wasn't there for the fight. So she can't prepare a statement for the fight. So what she can do is explain a violent situation that she was in with Candace when she literally took out a butter knife.
And
what are you talking about? And pointed it at her. And this was not when she refused to go. This was before she told her to get out of the house. So she had a weapon. What are we talking about here? It's literally insane.
Out of all
I do think people forget about that like incident. Like, you know, Ashley could have done the same thing. She could have turned around and like gone and sued her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was a violent incident, and I think
attempted murder.
The butter knife.
Yeah. So.
And then also it's like if Ashley and Monique are friends and my friend is about to go to freaking jail, I'm going to write a statement to keep my friend out of jail. People are like, oh, Monique is so wrong for filing a countersuit. Well, guess what? Do you think that I'm just going to lie down and go to jail? Like,
no, we're going to come up with a statement.
I'm going to literally defend myself and keep myself from going to jail. And also the freaking attorney's office or whoever reviewed the tapes, they saw what happened and they saw Candace in her face and they were like, okay, so everyone had a part in it. So it's like, you know, even the authorities decided that the fight was mutual, and that's just that on that.
So I have a question. Why is it when they showed everybody the clip, everybody acts like they didn't see the clip?
Right.
What a great question.
Why was everybody like so like, oh, but did that happen? It's like they just showed you the clip. Don't they have a big ass TV on the reunions that they show you the shit on? So I
think that they didn't show them the clip while they were there because of they wanted to, like, on the finale have that drama to show Andy that he was 100% wrong. But it kind of like backfired because Monique is watching this or even there and they're like gaslighting her. Like she didn't know, like Giselle didn't push her. Like the glass wasn't in Candace's hand.
So
like
maybe,
it was all her.
Maybe they went about that the wrong way. Maybe they should have, you know, after the clip, maybe they should have dissected it a little bit more. But it seemed as if they were trying to do that, but they still like, I don't know, kind of managed to turn against Monique again.
Mm-hmm.
I think Giselle just had already made up her mind at that point and was like, I don't care what any clip is showing me in my head. Monique is this evil monster. And Monique had already leaked Jamal's number at that point in the reunion. So Giselle was like, I'm over this. Like, I don't want this girl on the show. You can say anything you want. Like, she incited violence, and like that's that on that.
and I understand why, because Giselle was dragged
There's
through the
no
mud.
coming back from that. Between Monique and Karen, like I would have walked out.
I would have left. I would have started crying. I've been like, wow, thank you so much for having me on this show.
That was tough to watch. And I was like, I really wonder if she did call Jamal afterwards.
I'm sure she did.
I'm
that
sure
was the
she
right
did.
number.
But at the end of the day, I think she knows that Jamal is Jamal and Jamal's going to be Jamal. But she doesn't want to have like a binder of everything that Jamal was freaking doing. And you know what? Let's talk about that. What do you think about Jamal responding to everything after the reunion? Because I feel like if you're gonna talk and you have all these receipts, you should have came and stood up for your woman. Why are you, as a pastor of a mega church that flies around the freaking world, on Instagram talking about a woman on a reality show
with his phone backwards?
Yeah, with the binder backwards, like it was like upside down. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I totally agree. I think if like just come on the reunion. Do you know what I mean? Like, I honestly think they should be a requirement actually for house husbands and boyfriends. Like, you need to be there. Like, why wasn't Michael there? Juan wasn't there. Jamal wasn't there. Like,
I'm so glad that Juan Dixon is not here right now. And then she says it loud.
I'm so glad. So glad.
Juan Dixon. I've been saying that incessantly.
So funny.
Since freaking Sunday, it was just so confusing.
It was a little bit weird at first.
I thought he was gonna come out. Everyone was like,
the first time I seen it, I was like, huh? Is she okay? Like, what's going on? And then the second time, I was like, huh, this is weird. Like,
really weird.
Loved it. So, it was really awkward for Ashley too, this reunion.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it's awkward for Ashley every reunion because it's always something about Michael that has to come up. But I just hate that she's pregnant and she has to like go through this. Like, Especially when you're like that big pregnant, you don't need any kind of stress. Like she was so stressed out that her curls fell out and they had to like recurl her hair.
Listen, my girl was stressed.
I love her though.
So I would say, who are your faves from Potomac?
Oof. Gotta love Karen.
Yeah, the grand dog.
Love Robin because she comments on a lot of our stuff sometimes.
She's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She's really nice.
We love her for that. Obviously, Monique.
Yeah.
So I think those three are our favorites. They have to be. But Sophia, do you have any other favorites? Oh,
I think she's fine.
No, I think just those three. I mean, I love all of them, but
yeah,
I actually like those three.
I agree. They bring so much to the table. And I the evolution. Like she went from such a like quiet little like mouse to like stuck up, I feel like, and now she's kind of letting her hair down and showing us a little bit more of her personality, which I like.
So what do you think is going to happen next season? Like, what are your next season predictions now that Monique is gone? Do you think that anyone else is going to drop out? Because I personally don't. And who do you think they're going to turn on next? Now that they don't have Monique for a storyline, like, let's just see. I know that they're going to have to, Karen is going to have to dig deep into Jamal's freaking Jamal's Jamalness, because we're not just going to leave that out, because this is the thing. I like Giselle, but she's always in everyone else's business, and now it's time to pay the piper. So I think that that's definitely going to be a central storyline. If she continues dating Jamal, we're going to have to talk about it. We got to talk about the husbands. So what do you think is going to happen next season?
I agree.
I hope that Giselle gets her kind of time for them to come for her, but I don't know like what's going to happen without Monique. Like
they have to add someone in.
Yeah, like is it just going to be Ashley and Karen, or
I'll tell you exactly who they're going to add. They're going to bring back Charisse, and that's going to be that, because it's like that was the original formula.
Candace wasn't there and Monique wasn't there first. Yeah, Candace and Monique wasn't there, and it will be easier for Charisse to come back because she's very thirsty. It's very clear that she desperately wants to come back. And that's fine. That's fine because Monique is no longer on the cast, so it's like she can feel comfortable or whatever. But she better bring it.
Are you excited for Charisse? If she
not at all
to come?
You can stay in her champagne room personally. I think that I don't want any additions, but obviously I'm fine if we do. I want to see more of Wendy's home life. Yeah. And I want to see more of Grand Dame being Grand Dame. I still think that with it's 6 people left, right? So we have 6 freaking housewives, and they're all like top tier.
And I was saying, next season, I feel that Wendy is really going to bring it. I just have a strong feeling about that. Because
she can't just ride Candace's coattails anymore and be with Karen. Like that's going to be over with. You have to like have your own storyline.
I think, she was trying to get comfortable and adjusted since this was her first season. She didn't really want to be, because she already has an outspoken personality. So I don't think she wanted to come off too aggressive, which is what she expressed during the reunion. Maybe she should calm it down a little bit.
Yeah, I think that she should definitely worry about herself for a little bit.
Yeah, just calm it down just a little bit. I love her when she gets into the politics mode and all of that. Yeah. But let's save that for Fox News.
Let's get into like this African tea, baby.
I know. I want to see more. Like a great storyline for her is like her husband and his family.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
like,
beautiful
I
family.
would love to see that.
And they have like family drama, and I want to get into that.
Because if my significant other, if their family decided that they didn't want to speak to us, I would drag that shit.
Yeah, that would be my storyline.
6 seasons.
Yeah,
I'd be like, she's still not fucking with me.
It's year 3.
It's year 3.
We invited them to the season finale party, and they did not.
Show up.
I also feel like her and Karen can now put that feud behind them, and maybe her and Karen can get closer. Hopefully, as long as Candace doesn't try to have her in her back pocket, I see a bright future for Wendy.
I could see Wendy with Karen.
Yeah.
For some reason, I could see Wendy with Karen. Not Ashley. I don't really think her and Ashley are gonna ever. I just don't. I don't see that, and I could be wrong about that, but they just seem to have two different personalities, especially with, Michael's what Michael has going on. I don't think Wendy would go for that shit. She's not gonna lie about cameras. No. She's gonna show. She's gonna show the footage, and she's not gonna care about that. So that friendship would never work out, but. I could definitely see Wendy maybe tagging along if they bring Charisse back.
Yeah.
Bouncing between Charisse, Candace, and Karen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm excited to see Candace and Karen, like how they're navigating their relationship and to see if they like patch things up or whatever, or if Candace which probably will, and like try and do something foul. So I want to see that for sure.
I want to know more about, Karen trying to get Candace help, and that kind of also was skipped over, by certain people who are, against Monique. That was conveniently skipped over because if she felt that, I don't think that Karen tried to get her fired, but I do think that Karen was like, yo, this is like weird. I'm the grand dame. I don't do that like ghetto ass shit, and like I don't like the way that Candace like came at me and was yelling and making a scene and trying to force her to choose sides. Like Candace was so out of pocket this season that people like, I don't mind her crying and being emotional about the fight. That's fine. But it's just the way that she came at Karen was like ridiculous. And I don't blame Karen for trying to be like, yeah, get your girl.
Not even just Karen, but Ashley. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but she's always like,
and Ashley's pregnant, like enough.
Yeah, but she's always like that with Ashley, so I wasn't surprised. But to come at the grand dame like that, like that's an older woman.
And that's also my thing. If you're always that way with Ashley, why the hell would you not expect her to give a statement for her friend Monique, who's much closer to her than you are?
Exactly.
That just makes no sense altogether. So, but Candace fans don't even see that.
No, they like don't get connection between that at all. It's like, hello, did you not watch the few seasons with Ashley and Candace? Like they are frenemies. Like they don't like each other.
And I honestly don't have a problem with Candace fans who are able to have like a constructive conversation and be like, because I can admit that Monique was wrong. Like I have no problem admitting that Monique was wrong. I have no problem admitting that she took too long to apologize. I have no problem that, some of the things that she said, or some of the things that she did was a little bit, it was far. I have no problem admitting that. But with certain people, it's just like, they don't want to put any responsibility on Candace and they don't want to have a constructive like conversation. And that's what I'm not willing to entertain. Like, it's just like, I want to hear what you have to say, but I want it to be rational at least, like just being blind to what happened is just never going to fly for me. It's just not. And that's why it made it like not fun. Like, I know I keep saying this, but it's just like, I even logged out of Instagram for a bit because it was just like, okay, Monique is gone, so we can just like stop talking about it, or at least talk about it for a little bit, but not like go dig up these videos, go dig up these lives, Monique this and Monique that. It's like, okay, what more do you want? She's gone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He did a live recently and was like spilling all this tea about Monique and like the trainer or whatever, and I was like, Jesus, like, can we move on? Like, I get this trainer thing, like maybe wants to be a part of like the housewives, but it's like this cannot be a plot. Like I don't want this to be like Puppygate for Real Housewives Beverly Hills, where it's like we keep hearing about all the time. It's like I want to move on, like bring me something else.
Yeah, and then there's so many different things going on that can like that was like ignored. I feel like Robin and her tax issues, Giselle's relationship with Jamal, Karen's relationship with her husband was like kind of rocky. Wendy's relationship with her husband's family. Like there's so many different things that we could have explored or even talked about, even if they didn't show it on camera. We could have talked about it, but everyone just wants to talk about the fight. And it's just like, okay, next season, let's see like what's popping.
And they couldn't really do that because Robin wasn't going to address those taxes. Like she was doing everything she could to avoid that shit and get off it. Because as a matter of fact, when Indy brought it up, she's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I kind of forgot to sign a document or some shit like
how do
that."
you do that?
I'm like,
how
it
do
made
rich
no
people
sense.
Again? Like, how do you forget to do that shit again?
You know, Juan was pissed. He was like, "Not this again." Like,
That's why
get
he
it
wasn't
together.
there.
Right.
I am so glad.
That's exactly why he wasn't there, and she knew he wasn't going to be there.
No, not at all. Why would he be there? He's like, I can't deal with this again. Plus, if there's some like rumors about maybe like Michael and or like my friend has this opinion that like Michael and Juan have like a really weird relationship where, you know, like they're just like really weird and like they both perpetually cheat and they just go to the strip clubs together and cover each other's backs.
that actually does like make sense, because a lot of people are like, oh, Juan and Michael are dating. I'm like, I don't think that they're freaking dating, but I do think that they have like an understanding where they go and they have a good time.
When I heard that rumor, I was
like,
what?
And they shut up about it.
Juan and Michael doing what?
No, I don't believe that, but that would be great. Like for the show.
Listen, I would
watch that episode 76 times, as if I don't already watch each episode 76 times. But do you have any final thoughts on Real Housewives of Potomac now that we're closing that chapter until season 6?
I think it was like their best season yet. Like it really helped me through like quarantine. So I mean, I'm a little nervous for next season now. I'll be honest, now that Monique's gone. I'm wondering if we'll just stick with that or...
I agree.
Okay, and what do you think, Kiara?
Loved this season. Agree. I think they really stepped it up just in terms of bringing the energy. It's like every other franchise was kind of low and brought us what we needed in our time of need. So...
Isn't that crazy? Like, even though we have to like be annoyed by how the fight was dragged out, it still gave us like the best content that we've had in quarantine so far. And we would just want to thank the Potomac girls for doing what they do and continue doing it well. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but the ratings were amazing for especially those last few episodes. I think they even like surpassed Atlanta, which is a lot to say.
I'm very happy that they had good ratings this season. Honestly, I felt like we were never gonna make it out of Monique's house when they took that trip. I was like, oh my god, I'm about to go crazy. I feel like I'm here. Shit, I was so happy to see them get it done with, but once they were out, you know,
it was
we were good again.
It was a great season. It was a great season, but you know, I think personally for me, season 4 was a little bit better, only because of, you know, the whole fight thing. Because I like to see the ladies together, and it caused a bunch of like division, and it was like I just don't feel like it was that serious.
I think season 1 is the
season
best.
1. You
out of all the
1?
seasons.
I wasn't a big fan of season 1
because of the etiquette.
Oh, okay.
Like Karen and that etiquette book, like that was amazing. That shit right there.
That was like the fun shade.
And then Giselle's hairdresser, like
just all of their hair in season 1, and then freaking Katie. People to bring back. I'm sorry, Katie needs to come back. And you know what's insane? Ashley said that she wasn't the one who hooked up with Katie. So I'm wondering who
the hell is it?
Who the hell else on the Real Housewives of Potomac cast did she hook up with?
Giselle.
That's what no, maybe like just fucked up and just did it. I don't know.
I can't imagine I know
that's so awkward.
Imagine if it was Karen.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk about it anymore.
Karen, I don't know. We've seen Karen drunk, and she says some things.
But I think she says a lot of things, but I just don't see
you
that.
You don't see her with Katie. I would like to know. I'm very intrigued.
Maybe Charisse, honey. She was going through it.
Charisse.
You know,
that's possible.
She was going through it, if we recall.
Whoever it is, I'm here for it, and we're buttoning up, as Wendy would say, Real Housewives of Potomac, and sliding on over to Atlanta.
Okay, so
what do you guys think about Nene leaks and this whole boycott Bravo thing?
Listen,
Oh gosh.
What are your opinions on it?
Okay, I have to be honest though. I was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, like I was catching up on it, and I do miss her.
Yeah. She's Nene.
Yeah, I do miss her, but honestly, this boycott Bravo thing, I mean, I think it's pretty apparent that she's upset. Like, she got fired.
She's upset.
And, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's upset for sure. But like Nene brings so much to the show that like it makes sense for her to be like, why are you watching this? But I agree with Sophia. It's like, she's just salty that Andy was like, you gotta go.
I do think that Bravo could treat Black talent in general better because they do like so much and they don't get, even with the trips, they don't get as much as some of the other franchises. I do think that Bravo could do better with the Black talent, but I think that that's the direction that we're headed in. Like they're diversifying the cast, they did the Amplify Black Voices thing. They did the specials, so I think that she should work with them to help them be on a better path since she put so much, she's the foundation of like, when you think Housewives, you think Nene Leakes. So I think instead of like going against them, she should try to find a middle ground of how to make sure that this doesn't happen like in the future. I do miss her on the show, but I think that she's definitely mad that she got fired.
Yeah,
I agree on that point.
I mean, Bravo thinks that Kandi Burruss is obviously the main source of
everything. Kandi gets what Kandi wants, period.
And I get she was in Netscape. She has, all these businesses. But Nene also has like she's been here since season 1. Yeah. And she's given us so much. And then, we got Kandi later on, I think in season 2 or season 3.
I think that
I want to say season 2 or season 3. But either way, Kandi, I'd say Nene is a better housewife than Kandi. And I'm just going to say it just like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Candy's very talented. I think she's she's a businesswoman. Like I said, she has, she sings.
I think the most interesting storyline that Kandi had was obviously the whole Phaedra thing.
That's what I was going to say. I thought that she was going to leave after that whole like scandal with Portia.
Yeah.
She kept staying on. I was like, oh. And it's not like Candy's a little bit boring sometimes. So it's like, I'm just shocked that Bravo's like, come on, girl, like, come on back.
they made it. I think that Bravo actually, like, because I heard that like there was a producer that had something to do with those rumors. So I think that Bravo kind of like made it up to her and gave her whatever she wants, like the ski trip, all of her businesses, whatever business that she launches, they give extra attention to it. Like we know we're going to see that steakhouse a lot. Like we got the old lady gang going on. So they're making it up for it like tenfold without her necessarily having to have a relevant freaking storyline. Except this season, I do want to know what's up with Block calling her like a broke ass bitch. Like that's rude and that's a lie. And now we can talk about.
Oh my God. Okay. Listen. Okay, I've been waiting so long to bring this shit up.
Yeah, I'll shut the fuck up.
The child support. Okay, he needs to pay her this child support. Period. And I don't care how rich Kandi is. I don't care how much money she has. As a father, it is your responsibility to take care of your child. It's already too late. You already fucked up. Haven't spent any time with her. You don't really have a relationship with her. The least you can do is pay your dues. And this is a very relatable thing for me. So I definitely felt like I needed to speak on that. Like
exactly, and
he needs to pay up.
He needs to pay.
I totally agree.
And he hasn't been in her life like at all. We saw him a few seasons ago try to start that relationship back up. You saw how much it like hurt both Kandi and Riley, and he didn't stay true to his word.
It was just awkward as hell. Like when they were hanging out and stuff. I'm like, does Riley even do that? Does Riley even want to do this? Because sometimes I think parents just like try to give you the opportunity to get to know your dad without realizing that maybe she's a little bit too old to, maybe it's too late to build that kind of relationship. So it was always awkward.
And he doesn't need to be disrespectful. And like, it was clear that he wanted to be on the show because no one knew who Block was until he came on the show and decided that he wanted to be a dad. And like, what kind of name is Block anyway?
And then the second thing is like, Candy is nowhere near a broke ass bitch.
That was like stupid.
That was like a lie.
It was stupid. You should have shut up.
Yeah, and I just wish that never happened. And I hope Riley gets that child support. So, you know.
Yeah, because she's going off to college. Like, he needs to be there and be held accountable for what he didn't do. And like, don't you ever step to a woman who raised your child from 0 to 18, who's 10 million times more successful to you, and disrespect her. Like, that's just disgusting.
So I also want to know, Kiara and Sophia, how did you feel about Drew? Like seeing
Drew Sidora like being added to the cast.
I have to say Drew's
and her storyline
because everybody's like, huh?
Wait, sorry, I literally was like,
Drew Sidora, the one from the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, her and her husband. That's a dark like relationship. There's a lot going on there. And like the mom's in the house, like it's just a lot.
The mom's in the house, yeah. But it's too much.
Would you have a problem with your significant other being missing, like going missing for 3 days?
Yeah, in a quarantine, like we're in a pandemic. Where did he go? Like, it was pretty insane. And did he even explain where he went? I don't even remember.
He was just like, I went to the beach.
He was I was out.
Like, where'd you go? No, he was like, I went to the beach. And she's like, where'd you go? He's like, to Tampa. What the fuck is in Tampa? Like, that was just like the weirdest.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's going.
At all.
But I would love to be a fly on the wall or in the fucking car or in the back seat.
Somewhat, child.
To know where the hell he went and how he got back.
Insane.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And it's like they have like small kids and we're in the middle of a pandemic and you just disappear.
Do you guys think that she's making a good housewife so far from what you've seen? Even though it's only been 4 episodes and she was only in like, I think 3 of them. Do you think that she will, or is she making a good housewife, or do you need more time to see how you feel about her?
Yeah, I need more time. I feel like I could have a storyline. But for some reason, I just like, I don't know. I'm not feeling her for some reason.
I could tell you were disconnected as soon as I said her name.
She was like who?
Drew who?
I wonder if it'll be like a Kim situation where like an actor joins the show and like Kim Fields was like not it. Like I wonder if it will be it.
I don't like, you know what? That's very good, but I honestly don't think Drew and Kim Fields are anything alike.
Well,
I think
you can see that from the freaking commercial where she's like, "I'm from Chicago."
Drew, yeah,
don't fuck with me. And I'm like, wait.
Drew is nice as hell, but she will slap somebody down, and that's that. But how are you guys feeling about what's her name? Latoya. Forever?
Latoya, YouTube Latoya.
For never?
Not for never.
I kind of like her. Like, she's the one that's kind of like a mini Kenya, right?
That's what I think is it Candy's gonna say, like she's Kenya, but Kenya like on crack.
Yeah.
No. I love that energy.
You like the controversy?
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah. I like that she stirs the pot because like no one's really doing that. I feel like without Mimi. So
Kenya does that, but it's like we need more than one person to do that.
Yeah, you need like a tag team, you know, and I feel like she's kind of it. I do feel like we don't see her home life as much, which is a little strange.
Because she's a friend of, that's why.
Yeah. I feel like maybe like they should have switched her and Drew.
That's interesting because you know the people that we've talked to, everyone like likes Drew and they dislike Latoya. So you guys are the first people that we've talked to that like actually likes Latoya. I don't know how I feel about her yet. I don't like the bullying that she was doing with Drew, but I definitely feel like she's kind of like a fun. You guys like that shit. I feel like she's kind of like a fun girl though.
I love how Drew handled that though. She hugged the shit out of her. And you could tell she's like, I don't like this girl.
Yeah, I couldn't be that nice. So
yeah, because I would have been like, what did you say?
I'd be like, aren't you from YouTube? Oh, okay. So sit the fuck down.
Yeah, I'm from the game. All right.
I'm from the game. I'm from That's So Raven. I was who was she in the TLC movie?
T-Boz.
She was T-Boz.
She sure was.
Movie. Like, check my IMDb, bitch.
She's done a few things.
Well, okay, Salt Lake City is like the best thing that's come from quarantine other than Real Housewives of Potomac. What do you think about this new franchise, and who's your fave and who's your least favorite?
Love Salt Lake. Very excited that they added that. I was a little hesitant at first because I was like, what are these Mormons going to show me that I haven't seen? But they brought a lot out that like I wasn't expecting. I was talking to Sophia about this, but like I feel like Jen has like studied every single housewife possible and like picked specific attributes in each one and has like compiled it into this persona that she is now, which is why like a lot of people like her, because she like brings the mess. She tries to be a little bit vulnerable. So I'm glad with it. And it's just like funny about Mary being like married to her step grandpa. I was disappointed. I was like, why you gotta show us looking like that, Mary?
Like out of all the Black people, you get someone. But then also like it's weird because everyone freaking likes her, even though we're supposed to hate her, and it just feels weird.
Really weird. Like
my mom would not approve.
Yeah. Well, my mom definitely doesn't.
Yeah, she would be like,
And then she was talking about how her and her mom were fighting over who gets to marry grandpa. That was just
strange. Yeah, it's like, this is disgusting. I have to say, I feel like right now she's the one that's like not really doing too much for me on the show. I'm like, I need a little bit more out of you than like you being obsessed with your son and like not wanting him to be in this relationship. Like I need a little bit more.
So she's your least favorite. So who's your favorite?
Honestly, probably Jen, just because I love her. And I really like Whitney. I like I love how she swings on that pole all the time.
She's so fun.
She is. I feel like what I appreciate about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I feel like this is like one of the first times we actually are like truly looking into a home life that's like super, super vulnerable, like dealing with addiction and like seeing her dad go to rehab and stuff like that. And like
just talking about depression.
Yeah. And like just the church and how like depressed you can get from like getting divorced. I'm like, this is like the first franchise I feel like where they're being a little bit more real. Then like where sometimes it's a little too like cookie cutter and perfect.
Sophia, so what do you feel about Salt Lake City, and who's your favorite and your least favorite?
So I do love it so far. I worry like what the storyline like truly is going to be. Like we need like a little bit of drama or something. But my favorite has to be Heather. Like I love Heather. I just think she's kind of like us, kind of watching like these crazy women, like what is going on. And then least favorite, I like Mary surprisingly, but like she's to say that she has this crazy life, like I need to see more of it. Like I need to see more of like grandpa husband. I need to see more.
It's so intriguing, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
I think they want to get us, prepared. Like, I think that's really what it is, too. They came out with this season, and they're like, are people even going to watch this
like,
shit?
test it, and now it's a hit. They're like, okay.
Because it's so much going on. You have Mormons. You have this lady who's married to her, like, step-granddad. Her and her mom have fought over him. It's like a whole bunch of shit. Wendy's dad, you see his wig. You're like, what is going on?
Wig. Okay.
It's a lot going on, and I love Whitney's dad. I'm so happy that she got him the help that he deserved. And I love that her husband is so supportive. Are they're married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're married. They got married and like kind of like got shunned from the church and shunned from certain family members also. So that was like awesome to see them like open up about, how serious like It is.
Whitney also kind of reminds me of Pumpkin from Flavor of Love. And I know that's random as hell, but
I love
so funny.
Explain that. How does she remind you of Pumpkin?
Have you seen them?
Oh, you mean just physically?
Yeah, like not.
I'm like, what in the Flavor of Love?
Yeah, no, maybe Pumpkin after like 5 years of charm school, like. But
forget those shows, dude. The glory days.
Physically, I was like, "Is that Pumpkin?" When I first seen her.
So obviously, the last franchise we had to talk about is Dallas. Today is New Year's Eve. Don't know when we're gonna release this, but today's New Year's Eve. Bravo announced that Real Housewives of Dallas, they will be premiering the first episode tonight, actually, which is pretty freaking exciting. Even though Dallas isn't one of my, it's not even my top 5, but it's a franchise and it's something to watch. Do you guys watch Dallas?
Personally, like, I don't know why, but I never really got into it.
Yeah, I get it.
It was just kind of something I like watch in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I think last season was kind of good. Like, I was intrigued. But yeah, I'm not a frequent watcher.
That's me. I get it.
Yeah, but he's gonna start watching. So, he's gonna have something to talk about.
She's gonna like stab me if I don't.
Yeah. So, do you watch, Kiara?
Yeah, I watch because I weirdly got into like making the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. So when I found out that Brandy used to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, I was like, I have to watch it just because. I definitely watch, and I've been like super into it just because Leanne's like a character. Very glad to have her off the show though, because she's like so racist, it's absurd.
And Brandy's gonna have to answer for her racist posts.
And that's what I'm excited about. Like,
have an Asian American woman on there, and I hope that she confronts her about it, because she went to rehab for racism, and I'll never stop thinking about that. Like, it's just weird.
And the premiere, she's like, I almost committed suicide. I'm like, I just can't wait to see how this all unfolds
out. Yeah.
Like, oh god.
I'm glad they're gonna like address that though, because I feel
have to. We're in a new era. Like they have to talk about this thing. Just like on Southern Charm, they have to address Catherine. And I'm so glad that they're like taking notes, because honestly, it's like it was a make or break.
Yeah, it's weird to think like if this was like last year, I feel like maybe they would have like swept under the rug.
Right.
Like after this year, like it's like no, people
want
these people to be held accountable. So
we see the shift and we love the shift.
Yeah, I hope Tiffany kind of is like
roasting.
Yeah.
So we're about to wrap up the podcast, but we always have like a little fun question usually at the end. So if you were a housewife, you know how Rihanna follows Karen, what celebrity ideally would you want to follow you on social media?
So in like an ideal world, like Beyonce, but that would never happen.
Yeah.
So I actually would like Kris Jenner.
Ooh, that's a good one. And she would probably like level you up, right? Like
yeah,
from a housewife to like LVP, and like you have your own spinoffs and everything.
Yeah, I get her to be my manager. So
that's a good one. I was gonna say Beyonce too.
Yeah, everyone wants Beyonce, but she doesn't follow anyone. So.
Blue Ivy, if she like gets old enough to have one on Instagram. I could be fine with Blue following me, maybe doing a little shade, everything there.
I would say the same.
Yeah.
Definitely Blue Ivy and Beyonce. And then Miss Juicy Baby. I don't know. Like, as random as that is, I just want it. And I feel like it's doable. Like, I still feel like
Juicy would probably follow us if we like aggravated her.
I'm just waiting for the right moments. Like, but when
if I was a housewife, other than Andy Cohen, obviously, and Beyonce, who's unattainable, I would also feel like amazing if Rihanna followed me. Like, just to know that Rihanna took the time to even look at my profile. And then not only that, she took her thumb and pressed the follow button. Like, I would not be.
She's like, it's something about you.
Yeah. And how she was on Karen's live. If I go live and Rihanna comments on my live, I would pass out on live. Like,
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
I would end it. And
yeah,
just like
just
invite
like
her
and like inbox her, like, girl, do you want to go on FaceTime?
What can I do for you to continue to follow me?
Exactly. And we were talking to Ashley Darby, and she's like, I hope that she doesn't unfollow me if my content isn't as good.
She said that she even considered doing like extra shit.
Yeah. And she's like, but it would be genuine. So, but I just told her, like, listen, she follows you and just know that she followed you. Even if she unfollows you, you are something because she took notice and she respected the style. Exactly. Well, we had an amazing time. We're going to go over to the Patreon after this, but first, we want you to tell the Bravo Wild Black listeners where to follow you on social media, and if you have anything coming up, like, just let us know.
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram at 2 Black Bravo Gals, GALS. And yeah, just that's kind of the only platform we're on for now, but you know, it's a new year, so maybe we'll.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're here for you. We are so excited that you agreed, and we really appreciate it. So thank you everyone for listening. We will be back soon with more guests, or sometimes maybe even by ourselves. Who knows? Stay tuned. But please subscribe to our Patreon. And also please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and if you can on Spotify, because that literally helps us more than you know. And thank you for listening, and we love you.
Bye.